welcome back to the English Fluency Lab, the podcast where we break down the skills you need to become a confident, natural English speaker.
That's right. And today, we're tackling a big one. That feeling of being stuck. You know, when you've been studying for years, but real, natural fluency still feels just out of reach.
It's a super common frustration, and it's exactly what we're going to deconstruct today. We're talking about shifting from being a student of English to a true user of the language.
It's all about mindset, habits, and practical skills. We've got a lot to get into.
Okay, let's unpack this. Who's ever felt like you're studying English, maybe putting in the hours, but when it comes time to actually speak naturally or, understand someone talking fast, your mind just kind of freezes? If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. It's almost like you're learning about English, but not really living in it. So today we're doing a deep dive into mastering an English fluency, a skill-based approach. Our mission here is to, cut through some of that frustration, look at the common pitfalls, maybe some less obvious ones too, and give you practical, actionable strategies. We really want to transform how you approach learning English, make it more effective, sure, but also generally part of your life. Think of it as moving from just being a student to being a more confident communicator.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here, I think, is how often the traditional ways we're taught language, from school, can actually make achieving fluency harder. We're going to explore some really critical mindset shifts and daily habits that can genuinely speed up your progress. It's not just about vocabulary lists. It's about rewiring how your brain actually uses English, helping you jump from just studying to actively living in the language.
That's a great way to put it, living in the language. That distinction feels really important. So, okay, let's start there. Why does learning English often feel so difficult even when people are trying really hard?
Well, one of the biggest things, and you see this all the time, is focusing too much on grammar rules instead of just communicating. Think about it like learning to swim. You could read books about swimming for ages, right? Learn all the physics, memorize the strokes from diagrams.
But until you actually jump in the water, splash around, feel it, you can't swim. English is kind of the same. Knowing the rule for the past perfect continuous doesn't mean you can easily chat in a coffee shop. You might know what technically is correct, but not how to say it smoothly.
Right. The application is missing.
Exactly. Then there's the translation habit. Oh, this is a big one. You're trying to say something in English, but your brain is busy translating word for word from your native language.
Yeah, that internal translation step, it
creates this huge mental bottleneck. And I want to stress this because it's so key. Constantly translating from your native language significantly slows down your fluency. Brain scans actually show it increases cognitive load. It's like your brain's running two apps at once, pulling resources away from just speaking naturally.
It's measurable, not just a feeling, right?
It stops that automatic flow we're aiming for. And another common thing is just not enough real-life practice. People study English homework, class, then switch right back to their own language.
Compartmentalizing it.
Yeah, they aren't living in it. It's like going to the gym once a week versus making exercise a real part of your routine. Language needs constant use.
It needs application.
Precisely. And finally, there's that fear of making mistakes. Oh, this one is huge. It just crushes speaking confidence. Worrying about sounding silly or getting something wrong or people not understanding you, it can stop you from even trying.
It's a vicious cycle, isn't it?
Totally. You don't speak because you're scared, so you don't practice, you don't get better, and the fear just gets worse. People feel embarrassed, like they failed somehow.
And if we step back and look at the bigger picture, these challenges, the grammar focus, the translation, lack of practice, the fear, they really represent some basic misunderstandings about how we naturally pick up languages. Think about a little kid learning to talk. They don't get grammar lessons first, right?
No verb charts?
No, they just dive in. They listen, they copy, they experiment, they make tons of mistakes, which are really just attempts, right? They use language to get things done. These hurdles we mentioned kind of push adult learners away from that natural process, makes it feel way harder than it maybe needs to be. Can lead to burnout, too. And here's something interesting. Often the rate of making mistakes actually correlates with the rate of learning, especially when you're immersed. More mistakes can mean faster progress.
Wow, that's a really powerful way to think about it. So, okay, if those old approaches and our own fears are the hurdles, what are the mindset shifts we need? This is where it gets really good, I think, because changing how you think about it can change everything. What if we stopped treating English like a school subject, pass or fail, and started seeing it as a skill, like learning to swim or play football or even cook something new?
Framing it as a practical skill.
Exactly. Once you see it as a skill, you get the progress comes from practice, consistent practice, not from trying to be perfect right away. You wouldn't expect to be a master chef after one TV show, right? Or ski like a pro after one lesson. English is just like that. It's about showing up, trying things, knowing every attempt makes you a little bit better. Even tiny bits of daily practice wire your brain for it.
That consistency is key.
Totally. And those mistakes we were talking about, we have to reframe them, seriously. Every mistake is actually a sign you're moving forward. It means you're trying new things, pushing your limits. It's just feedback, not failure. It shows you what to work on next. Embrace them. They're data points, really.
Yeah, good way to put it.
Then there's this idea, immerse, don't translate. Actively train yourself to think directly in English. See a cat? Think cat, not your word, then cat. It takes real effort at first, like building a new muscle.
Building new pathways in the brain.
Right? Start small, like describe your morning routine to yourself silently in English, or narrate what you see on your walk. It forces your brain to link concepts directly to English words, skipping that slow translation step. It's huge for fluency and sounding more natural.
It really is. And it raises this question, doesn't it? How much does our mindset really affect our learning ability, especially for something like language? The answer seems to be a lot. There's research like from Stanford showing learners with a growth mindset who believe they can develop abilities through effort, they just do better than those with a fixed mindset. Seeing English as a skill helps build that growth mindset. You become an active participant, not just passively receiving rules.
That makes so much sense. So maybe a little challenge for everyone listening right now. Just pause for, say, 10 seconds. Try to think of a simple sentence directly in English without translating first. Maybe just, this is interesting, or I am learning. Give it a quick try.
Great challenge.
Yeah, feels a bit weird at first, but it gets easier. Okay, so we've talked mindset. Let's get into the practical stuff, the daily habits that really make a difference. We can kind of split these into two main types, input and output. Makes sense, right? What goes in and what comes out.
Intake and production.
So for input, think about how you take in English. Listening is huge. Podcasts, obviously like this one, hopefully. YouTube videos, audiobooks, music, maybe look up the lyrics, listen to the news stories, anything really. And reading too. Articles, short stories, even just social media posts, or like the back of a cereal box in English.
Yeah, integrating it into everyday life.
Exactly. Try switching your commute music to an English podcast or follow some English accounts on social media. The more you expose your brain, the more it just absorbs patterns, words, rhythm, sometimes without you even realizing it.
That's the comprehensible input idea. Your brain figures things out from context.
Right. Now for output, this is where you actively make English. Speaking is key. A great way to practice, even alone, is recording yourself. Seriously, just talk for 60 seconds about your day, describe something nearby, then listen back. It's illuminating. You notice things you wouldn't otherwise.
For sure. Or find language partners. Online apps make this easy now. Just chat. Don't aim for perfection, just communication. And writing. Keep a journal in English. Write short posts online, comment on things. Doesn't have to be fancy, just consistent.
Getting the language out is just as important as getting it in.
Absolutely.
So thinking about this, what stands out to you listening right now? Can you pick just one input habit to try, maybe starting today, and one output habit for this week? Could be listening to a podcast while you cook, or writing just 3 sentences in English before bed. Just pick one of each. Small steps.
And speaking of small steps, let's talk micro-practice. This is super effective, but people often brush it off. Listen to this carefully. 10 to 15 minutes daily is way more powerful than doing 2 hours once a week.
That surprises a lot of people.
It does.
I'll say it again because it's such a game changer. 10 to 15 minutes daily is more powerful than 2 hours once a week. It's about consistency, building the habit, keeping the language active in your brain. It leverages how we naturally learn through spaced repetition.
Little and often beats cramming.
Definitely. And a really cool technique for this is shadowing. Heard of this?
Mimicking native speakers.
Exactly. You listen to someone native speaking and you immediately repeat it, trying to copy their sound, their rhythm, their intonation, like an echo. So you hear, "Excuse me, where's the station?" And you say it right back, trying to sound just like them, even if you don't catch every word perfectly at first.
Right. It's more about the sound and the rhythm. It trains your mouth muscles, your ear, your brain all at once, builds that physical memory for speaking. Feels odd initially, but it works wonders for fluency and accent.
And what's really fascinating, tying back to that micro-practice idea, is just how much we underestimate the power of these small, regular efforts stacking up over time. Our brains are wired for that kind of learning. Distributed practice, not marathon cram sessions. It's that consistent daily touch point that gradually rewires things for English, building fluency, almost without you noticing the big shift happening day to day. It's not just a nice idea. It's backed by cognitive science on how habits and memory work.
Exactly. The magic is in that daily commitment. Okay, so to help make these habits happen, let's mention some specific tools and resources. Stuff that's out there, often free and really helpful. For free learning content, BBC Learning English and VOA Learning English are fantastic. News lessons, all tailored for learners.
Very clear and accessible.
Yeah, Link is great for reading and listening together, building vocabulary from context. Duolingo makes daily learning like a game. Good for basics and vocab. And YouTube, well, it's endless. Channels for everything English.
Whatever your interest, there's probably a channel for it in English, right?
Yeah.
For podcasts, great for input practice. Maybe try ESL Pod, which uses a slower, clearer English. BBC's The English We Speak is good for common phrases. And All Ears English has more natural chats and cultural tips.
Podcasts are perfect for multitasking and mute chores.
Totally turns dead time into learning time. App-wise, Anki is amazing for flashcards. It uses spaced repetition, so it helps you remember words efficiently. And for finding people to practice speaking with, that crucial output, apps like HelloTalk or Tandem connect you with native speakers all over the world. For chat, voice calls, even video.
Real conversation practice right from your phone.
Exactly. So, quick interactive moment here. Thinking about your routine, your style, which of these sounds like a good first step for you this week? Maybe an app like Duolingo for daily structured fun? Might be finding a language partner on HelloTalk to start speaking? Or adding an English podcast like All Ears English to your commute? Just pick one that feels doable and appealing right now. The wrong answer.
Okay, so we kind of start to wrap up this deep dive. So let's zoom out a bit. Let's talk motivation, the big picture. Why bother with all this? What are the life-changing parts of getting fluent in English?
Yeah, the why behind it all. Well, learning English it's so much more than learning words. It genuinely opens up incredible doors. Think about jobs. So many fields are global now. Tech, travel, customer service, research. English helps everywhere. Gives you the freedom to travel confidently, connect with people from different cultures, access online education, courses from top universities, experts, sharing knowledge, often free.
The access to information is huge.
And it lets you build global friendships, broaden your horizons in ways you might not even expect. Someone estimated that English gives you access to like 80% of the world's online knowledge. Think about that. Science, tech, news, global events. It's mostly in English first. It's a key to unlock so much information.
It really is the current lingua franca, online and in many industries. And beyond the practical stuff, there's a real personal transformation. Fluency builds massive confidence, not just in speaking English, but overall. It lets you express yourself more fully, more authentically. It can almost feel like gaining a new identity, a new way to see and interact with the world. It just makes life richer, more connected.
Absolutely. Connecting this to that bigger picture, mastering English is genuinely life-changing because it's about empowerment. It's about creating possibilities for yourself, maybe ones you can't even see yet, career paths, travel, hobbies, personal growth. It touches everything. It's not just language skill, it's cognitive flexibility, cultural understanding, expanding your whole world, which brings up a really important question for you, the listener. What new experiences, what opportunities, what future version of yourself are you hoping English will help you unlock or build? What's your driving reason?
That's a fantastic question to sit with. And just remember all those small daily efforts we talked about. They really do add up to big transformations over time. Every minute listening here, every sentence you try to say, every mistake you learn from, it's making you better than you were yesterday. You really can do this. It's a marathon, yeah, not a sprint, but you can absolutely reach the finish line with the right approach.
So maybe a final thought to leave you with as you go about your day-to-day. Just consider how much of your normal routine could you subtly turn into an endless living opportunity just by shifting your perspective a little, trying one or two of these habits. How might thinking of English as a daily skill to practice instead of a subject to study fundamentally change your journey to fluency starting right now?